Warning: the Dub Talk podcast contains language and content that may not be suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Also, there will be a lot of spoilers in today's episode, so be very careful if there is a series or film you haven't finished yet. And as always, the opinions expressed are those of the individual participants and do not reflect Dub Talk as a whole. What? Did you really think Digimon was our last movie of the summer? Ha! Joke's on you, we have one more! And you want to know something else? I'm not actually Stephanie. It's me, the master of manliness himself, Spaceman Hardy. Bet you can tell the difference, huh? I don't blame you, though, since I have such feminine wiles.
Aha! So that explains why my phone was full of goat pictures and Final Fantasy hentai. I was wondering who was writing all these bad puns and dad jokes on my face, and why my ringtone had changed to sexy back. I swear to God, Hardy, as soon as I figure out how to get switchback, I'm going to end you!
Shoot, looks like I'm busted. Time to get while the getting is good. Enjoy the show, everyone! Welcome one and all to Summer at the Movies with the Dub Talk podcast. All summer long we have been playing Siskel and Ebert as the crew has fought zombies, become pirates, and have revisited our childhood a couple of times. But as the summer comes to an end and the leaves begin to change, we're ending our special series the biggest and best way we know how, with the OG crew. I'm Stephanie, he is Hardy, and she is Megan.
Are you sure about that? I don't feel like Megan.
What do you feel like? Are you sick?
I don't know.
I just can't stop touching my own boobies. They feel so
real.
natural.
It's so real!
Okay, now when I say we're gonna end our summer at the movies the biggest way we know how, what do you think I mean by that?
We're gonna go to Japan? We're gonna get married under the Gundam? We're gonna tear up a birthday invite in front of a girl that likes us?
Oh no.
Are we talking about Boku no Pico the movie?
Thankfully, no.
God damn it! I had my cast predictions and everything!
So, we're gonna actually be talking about the biggest grossing anime film of 2016 from Japan, and one that was submitted for the award circuit, but unfortunately didn't even get nominated, which is
we'll
a
get
crying
back to that
shame.
horse shit.
Yeah, which is a crying shame. We're actually going to be talking about Makoto Shinkai's Your Name.
Ooh.
It's Megan.
Yes. I didn't ask what your name was.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
My name is Megan.
Oh, god damn it. If you have not heard of this film, here is a quick little summary from the Funimation Films website. The day the stars fell, two lives changed forever. High schoolers Mitsuha and Taki are complete strangers living separate lives, but one night they suddenly switch places. Mitsuha wakes up in Taki's body and he in hers. This bizarre occurrence continues to happen randomly and the two must adjust their lives around each other. Yet, somehow, it works. They build a connection and communicate by leaving notes, messages, and more importantly, an imprint. When a dazzling comet lights up the night sky, it dawns on them. They want something more from this connection, a chance to meet, an opportunity to truly know each other. Tugging at the string of fate, they try to find a way to each other. But distance isn't the only thing keeping them apart. Is their bond strong enough to face the cruel irony of time? Or is their meeting nothing more than a wish upon the stars? Now, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be chatting about the casting of the film and give our review of the English dub for the film, which means, since this is a dub review, there are going to be spoilers present throughout the entire course of it. So if you have not seen the film Your Name, please go see the movie and come back later. Okay?
We hope, seriously, at this point, the video is out on DVD. We highly don't think it's likely, but please, seriously, do not watch this video unless you've seen the movie, because I'm pretty sure we're spoiling all of it.
Yeah, this is going to be spoiler city, so cover thine ears.
Yeah, and Megan actually just brought me to my second point. So just as a heads up, throughout the course of Summer at the Movies, the episodes were recorded at different times. For Your Name in particular, we decided to record this on the weekend of the theatrical run in April.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I just got back from seeing it a few hours ago.
I drove 2 hours!
Yeah, I saw it opening night, actually. So we all watched it. It was a handful of people. It wasn't too crowded. No.
You actually had a Funimation film go to Memphis. My God.
Yes.
It's happening!
It's happened. So
Yes.
so this is the last episode for our movie special, but this ended up being the first one we recorded.
Yeah, so it's fresh in our minds.
Yep. So pardon us if we may seem a little out of date with references or information since we recorded today's episode again in April for an end of August release. So obviously if there's information that may have come up in the months since we recorded this episode, obviously we would not know that. So we apologize if there might be something that came up and we weren't unfortunately able to cover it. Okay, so long-winded opening is done. So why don't we just dive right into this, okay?
Right. Diving into it like a comet on a
sweet autumn
Japanese,
night.
Yes, into a Japanese village.
Oh my God.
Just
Anywho.
heavy-handed joke.
By the way, you guys can't see it, but our Skype group is literally, for this episode, it's called Watch Out for the Meteor.
Yes, thank you for that, Megan. So things are going to go a little bit differently. We're actually going to be saving staffing. So director and scriptwriter, we're going to be saving that for last. And with good reason. So we're just going to dive right into the casting itself. So everything is in pairs or trios, so there's no individuals here. The first two characters we're going to be talking about are Mitsuha's, are a couple of Mitsuha's family members. So we have Yotsuha Miyamizu, who is the little sister, and Hitoha Miyamizu, who is their grandmother. So kind of, again, little sister, grandmother. The grandmother is in charge of the local shrine in their little town. And she and Mitsuha and her sister kind of help her out a little bit. Because family troubles are a thing that happen. So we didn't actually make any predictions at all because this film was not released beforehand. So we also kind of took
the approach. I personally took the approach of going in as blind as I possibly could. I didn't watch any dub trailers or really any trailers at all. I had no idea what it was about, and so that's the approach I took. So yeah, don't look for predictions from any of us.
Yeah, I only saw I don't think I only saw the trailer. That was it.
I think I saw one dub trailer, but now that I think about it, it only kind of gives away the voices of the two leads.
Yeah, honestly. So, going into casting-wise, Yotsuha Miyamizu is voiced by Miss Katie Harvey. Hitoha Miyamizu is voiced by, oh god,
What's that name?
Glynis Ellis?
Gwyneth Ellis.
Glynis Ellis. I apologize for butchering your name, ma'am.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like you have a lisp when you say it.
You sound like the kid from Stranger Things.
I'm going to refer to her as Miss Ellis.
Yes.
Ms. Ellis. Other roles you might have heard them in, both of them actually, this is their first anime that they voiced in. Ms. Ellis, I did try to see if I could find any other information about those two, though. Ms. Ellis, I could not find really anything. But Katie Harvey, she is actually primarily a stage actor. And she's done a lot of productions in New York and on Broadway. She is a little girl. She is an actual little girl, not an adult.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow, I did not know that.
She's a child actress, yeah.
Yes, that is correct. Because I looked at some of her credits on Backstage, and she was Annie and Annie Jr., and she was also a young Cosette for Les Mis at one point.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
Yep. So
She's suffering.
Yeah, yes. But anyway, how do we feel about these two performances?
I will say this for Yotsuha. If you can give me her name again, I'm so sorry.
Katie Harvey?
I actually just thought that was Laura Woodhall or under a pseudonym for a really long time.
No.
Yeah.
She kind of gave me that same vibe, though.
Kind of, yeah. A little bit.
Like, I really liked her because she did a really good job in the movie as the sister. who, full disclosure, my mom went with me on my 2-hour journey to see the dub because there was one theater in all of Central Florida playing it.
Nice.
And if you ask my mother, Yotsuha is actually the hero of the movie.
Really now?
Because she tells the sister that she went to Tokyo.
Ah.
But,
Yes.
Also, fun fact I learned today reading, that the grandma, the mom, and the two sisters, all of their names are respectively 1-leaf clover, 2-leaf clover, 3-leaf clover, 4-leaf clover.
Interesting.
But
Interesting.
Yes.
she had great comedic timing, too, by the way.
Yeah. I love Katie. I love Katie's comedic timing, and she was so charming and adorable. Like, I didn't actually think it was a child voice actress coming in here, because I mean, obviously, we're so used to like
Laura
the
Woodhull and
typical crop of voice actors we're used to playing like little kids, but we actually have a child for once in our lives.
Terry Doty
Right.
and her army of little boy voices.
Yeah. This was a really pleasant surprise.
Yeah, one thing about this particular directing studio is that when they need to, they will go and get actual child actors, because they did the same thing for My Miracle as well. And yeah, when it calls for it. I thought at points there were times it was a bit rough, but that was not knowing that it was an actual child actor. And so now that I can go back with that knowledge, I think I'm actually kind of impressed.
Yeah.
Because it sounded at first, it kind of sounded like it's just going to be another adult actress voicing a little girl, but actually now that, with that knowledge, it's actually pretty good, yeah. She keeps getting on her sister about fondling her boobies, and
Grandma, she's finally gone crazy!
yeah, she's playing
Grandma,
with her boobies again.
Grandma, I'm just for today, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a little bit early.
Really?
Okay.
Like, that whole scene is, like, golden with her from start to... Just because it's like, Yotsuha, you're alive! Because obviously, to spoil that scene, it is Taki as the sister, Mitsuha,
Yep.
after he knows that she's died.
Yeah.
And, spoiler alert, she's 9 years old.
Yotsuha is 9 years old.
Yotsuha,
Yes.
not Mitsuha. I don't know why a 9-year-old would be fondling her titties. That's some weird ass Boku no Pico shit.
God.
But I think that she really nailed it to a lot of the kind of more like quiet moments too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because there is obviously the scene where they go up and they go to the shrine in the mountain, the Netherworld.
Yes. Which was beautiful, by the way.
Yeah.
And kind of, I guess, segueing into Miss Ellis and as Granny, because this, again, I could not find any other relevant credits, whether it was stage or TV or anything like that. So, as far as I'm aware of, this woman is non-existent.
Huh.
And for a first time hearing her as the grandma in this performance, I thought it was fantastically done. Honestly.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because not only is the grandma just so kind and insightful, she is very intuitive at the same time. Because she, towards like the second half of the film, after we learn that Mitsuha's hometown was destroyed by the comet, and Taki finally gets a chance to go back, it's the grandmother who first actually says to Taki when he's in Mitsuha's body, it's not you, is it? You're somebody else right now. Because it's apparently a family trait in there. It's apparently a gender, like, not
Which
gender,
is never brought up
thing.
again, by the way.
Yeah, never brought up again. I'm like, what the fuck? But, like, I thought Ms. Alice's performance of Granny was really phenomenal. Just really sweet, kind-hearted, tough when she needs to be, because good lord does she sometimes give it to their dad.
Their dad's a fuckbag anyway.
We're not going to talk about the dad, but the dad's an asshole.
Right.
That's an ass. I think that's what I wanted to bring up, is that she does a really good job of being stern in very quick moments. Because there is a part where Taki, in this, I have to say, jaw-droppingly gorgeous, trippy-ass sequence
Yes.
where he sees Mitsuha's life up until the day of the comic. And there's this part where the grandmother, after the death of the mom, yells at the dad for quitting the religion and leaving the shrine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that. It's like blink and you would miss it kind of scene.
Yeah.
And she does so well at yelling about him about her fate.
Right. Yeah, no, as watching the film, see, I did not realize that this was a first-time actress, and so I was trying to place who it sounded like. Because she sounded like someone who I've heard before, and yet, at the same time, sounded like no one I've ever heard before. I'm trying to place who it sounded
Does she
like.
sound a little bit like the grandma from Summer Wars to you?
That's what I
Kinda,
was just
sorta,
thinking
yeah.
about. So she kind of sounds, who is it? Pam Doherty, I think it is?
I don't
By
even
the
remember.
way, that is one of the best performances as a grandmother in any anime movie ever.
Yes.
True, yeah.
True
Yeah,
facts.
yeah. I thought it was really good.
So yeah, apparently in agreement, even though we've never heard of these two actresses before, phenomenal jobs. Phenomenal jobs all around.
I gotta do it because I haven't done it in a while.
Uh-oh.
Who?
God damn it.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, who are you? We got some voices to do now.
Okay.
Shut up, Megan.
Yes, shut up, Megan. Alright, so are we ready to move on?
Yes, ma'am.
C.
Alright, so the next group we're going to be talking about is a trio. We're actually going to be talking about the three characters on Taki's side of things. So we have Miki Okudera, who is a co-worker of Taki's at the restaurant he works for. He kind of has a little crush on her for a bit. And then we have Tsukasa Fuki and Shinta Takagi, who are two of Taki's friends from school. Now, the three actors who voice these characters. Okudera is Laura Post, whom you have heard in series such as Kill la Kill, Redline, and Gargantia on the Virtuous Planet.
Oh God, Laura Post and Kill la Kill. God damn.
Tsukasa is voiced by Ben Pronsky, who you have heard in Aldnoah Zero, Super Milk Chan, and Cromartie High School. And Shinta is performed by Ray Chase, whom you have heard in One Punch Man, the 2016 Berserk, and Mob Psycho 100. So how do we feel about these trio of performances?
Ray Chase, I know you're a really good actor. I know you are, but you did fuck all in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
No, wait a second. No, wait. No, Takagi was the guy in the glasses, right?
No.
No, Taki was the big guy.
You sure?
Yes.
Yeah. I am looking at my anime list right now because I
Okay.
wanted to make sure I remember which character is which. Yeah, Ben is the glasses wearing character.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
Ray Chase. Who did Ray Chase play in Mob Psycho again? Was he
Onigawara? No, he was Onigawara. Mob was
I didn't finish
Kyle
Mob
McCarley.
Psycho.
Kyle
Yeah.
McCarley was Mob.
Yeah. Don't forget, Ray Chase was also Noctis in Final Fantasy 15, which is
Ladies.
a big deal. Yeah.
Ladies. Oh my God, you guys missed it when I was in. I know Hardy wasn't there, but Steph, you missed this. At one point, we were trying to meet up together. I think on Sunday at AB to go get something. To go actually get your gift, Hardy.
Oh, nice.
So as we were walking around, I found a dealer that I wanted to buy something at, and all they had on their table was a little picture of Noctis, a little cutout of Guy Fieri, and a thing that said, "Please donate to get Noctis to Flavortown." And goddamn did I did. I left $1 for Noctis to get to Flavortown, and I hope he made it.
God damn it.
Look,
Yeah.
Noctis.
Yeah,
Are you
going
play-
back to the whole we recorded this in April thing, last weekend was Anime Boston.
I ruined zoo books for everybody. And Nicki Minaj. And Hooked on Phonics. We learned Prof. Stan is Rocky Lobster. We rejected our humanity.
Yup.
We learned that Jamal is an autograph-getting wizard.
Yep.
What else happened? We learned that Sneebs is a very suave marketing motherfucker.
Yes.
We learned that the Sentai people are friends with us. Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, Carolyn.
What else did we learned that the director of JoJo's did not expect snow and wishes that he could control snow. We learned that the
No,
cast
no,
of
no,
My
no.
Hero
It
is
wasn't
cowards.
the director. It wasn't the director of JoJo. It was the founder of Bones.
Bones. Never mind. My bad. We learned that everybody in the cast of My Hero is actually a fucking coward. It's on the vlog. And what else did we learn?
A lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, we learned that
We learned that I wasn't there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we learned that Hardy should have gone.
But we did get Hardy a bitchin' lobster hat and a copy of
Oh,
the old
yeah.
Arslan OVAs.
Yeah, so to make up for how crabby I was
Oh.
for being having to miss it, yes.
Okay, no, you were not crabby. You were tolerable. Now Noah, on the other hand.
Moving on.
Let's not get into that conversation. Anyway, how do we feel about Laura Post, Ben Pronsky, and Ray Chase? Going back to that.
Ray Chase, you're a good actor. I'm sorry you didn't actually get to do anything in this movie other than bitch about Taki's clothing.
I barely remember him right now, and I only saw the film a few hours ago.
Yeah. He was just sort of there.
He was kind of there. Now, Ben Pronsky and Laura Post, on the other hand, they were more than there.
Especially Laura Post.
Especially Laura Post.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd say, because Ben Pronsky, I never heard of this individual in my life.
Looks like he goes back all the way to the ADV days.
Damn.
I mean, Cromartie High School, yeah.
Did you buy that this weekend?
Did you what?
Didn't you buy that?
Yes.
I did buy Cromartie High School on TV.
I remember him, but at the same time, I feel like, especially compared to Taki, who we're getting to eventually,
Yeah.
I feel like he was kind of also there. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good performance, and it's not bad or anything. It's just not there. It's not memorable to me.
It's not quite a standout. He had more screen time than Shinta did, and Ray Chase got to have. But yeah, it's not as memorable.
And I think that's more or less on the writing of the actual movie.
Yeah.
I feel like
that
he
could be
was
the case.
just there to give... I feel like he was there to balance out the level of... the amount of friends between Mitsuha and Taki. Because Mitsuha's friends, when we get to them, I feel like I remember them more.
Yeah, they had much more memorable screen time and scenes compared to
And they were
Taki's
also
friends.
genuinely better characters.
Right. They
Yes.
had more at stake in the long run as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and because he and Mrs. Okudera,
Okudera.
they go with Taki when he tries to find Mitsuha, and he can't find her. But I feel like he kind of went along to be kind of, because at that point it's kind of clear that Taki's in love with Mitsuha.
Yep.
I feel like he was kind of sent along to hook up the other female on the trip. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
Mm.
And I guess kind of going into Okudera, Okudera's character is essentially, like, because again, Taki had a crush on her. And then by the time, basically, at one point, Mitsuha, when they swap, Mitsuha sets Taki up on a date with her.
To which I'm pretty sure that Mitsuha had a thing for her too.
Oh, it's possible. But she just set him up on a date. It was kind of funny. And then by the end of the date, Okudera is the one who's like, you like somebody else, I can tell.
Right.
Like,
because it was a complete change in persona.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think Laura Post, she really portrayed that very well. I definitely say Laura Post's performance was one of the more memorable ones on the Taki side, at the very least, because she definitely had a lot more of a role in terms of shaping Taki's feelings for Mitsuha, in a sense.
Right. Yeah, there was a lot of sincerity in the role, especially even near the beginning when she steps up in order to help him with the problematic customers. And so she sort of takes not only a love interest sort of role, but also the role of a mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a big sister character.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's very accurate. Like, eventually going from, like, a potential love interest to a sister character.
Also, at the end, kind of big spoiler alert, did anyone else sort of go, ooh, when they saw the ring on her finger at the very end?
Yeah.
She got married,
I was like,
yeah.
ooh, who did she get with? Because my mom, again, my mom with me, my mom thinks she got with the guy with the glasses.
We can't really tell, though.
Right.
Yeah, because they just hint that she's engaged.
Engaged or married. And then when we see the glasses character, before we see Okudera, there's no real hints or exposition that he could be married to her or anything like that. So.
Well, you
They just
gotta also remember that she said she was in town for work, meaning she doesn't live in the area anymore.
Right.
So-
Yeah. And Tsukasa is still in town. So,
Right.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
no
they're
way.
all still trying to find jobs but for me, I'm a little 75-25 on Laura Pose's Okudera, because I do feel the sincerity and I do feel the genuineness of the performance. However, I feel like it's very static to my ears. Like,
Okay.
it's always kind of the same level of sincerity. And that's really weird for Lauren Post, because I like Lauren Post a lot as an actress. Like, she has some pretty balls crazy range. I mean, the woman played Ragyo, worst mother ever from Kill la Kill.
Which I still need to see that.
She is absolutely terrifying and gross in that show, and it's awesome.
Right.
And she's also, and I also gave her a W last year as Nozomi from Love Live, because that's another character where she again is very kind of big sistery and very sincere, but I feel like she has kind of more wackiness to play on, and that again is more, I think, the fault of the writing of the movie, not her performance. It's
Right.
she does feel like a very static character.
I mean,
She
you're
doesn't
trying
change
to
very
do you're trying to do a decent amount of development for characters within, like, what, an hour and 47 minutes, I think it is.
Yeah.
because this movie flies by really fast.
It does, actually.
Like,
But-
I was amazed at how fast this movie went. I was like, oh my god, it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
but-
they were able to squeeze all that content and all that plot into under 2 hours
Yeah.
and not
Yeah, 'cause-
and make it make sense and not make it boring. So
Yep.
that's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah. FYI, this movie is insanely packed for the amount of time, and it is gorgeous. And did anybody else go to one of those Cinemark screens
No.
that they were
No.
advertising it was on? Because that's where I went, and oh my god.
I went to an AMC.
I went to a
That's where they were
Malco.
showing it.
A what?
A Malco. It's a
What the hell's a Malco?
it's a Memphis area movie chain.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
But I still really, really liked her performance. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And you felt for her too, I think, a little bit. Like, I think the most charming kind of moment of her performance is very early on in the beginning of the movie, where her skirt was cut by the
Yep.
box cutter.
Yep.
And Taki's like, take off your skirt. And she's like, excuse me?
I'll look away.
Oh,
I
look
swear.
away. And, oh, you're so feminine.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that she would have picked up on it. Like, because it feels like the body swapping thing, everybody on Mitsuha's side got it, but nobody on Taki's side did.
Well,
And I kind of wished it was her.
Correction, everyone on Mitsuha's side eventually picked up on it.
Yeah.
Keyword, eventually.
And I wish that she would have eventually as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was implied that Taki told Okudera and Tsukasa what was going on while they were on their little excursion to find Mitsuha.
So it's Bros of the Year award.
Yes. It's like, he's gonna cover your shift, I'm going with you. What? I got you covered. But yeah, I think at least out of the 3 supporting characters on Taki's side, Laura Post is probably at least the standout.
Right.
Though it would have been nice for her to have at least a little bit more, and be that person that realizes, oh hey, something's up here.
Yeah. Well, so are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Let's see. We're gonna move on to the two friends on Mitsuha's side now. So we have Sakuya Natori and we have Katsuhiko Teshigawara, whom, again, friends of Mitsuha's in high school, despite, because a little bit more context. So Mitsuha's dad is the mayor.
Right.
So, of course, some other kids in school will sometimes tease and bully her. Yeah. And Sayaka and Tashi are really kind of the two that go onto Mitsuha's side and are really good friends with her. So the two individuals voicing these characters, for Sayaka Natori, we have Miss Cassandra Lee Morris, and we have for Katsuhiko Teshigawara, Mr. Kyle Hebert. Cassandra Lee Morris, you've heard her in roles such in Dorarara, Sword Art Online, and Madoka Magica. As for Kyle Hebert, you've heard him in Blue Exorcist, Fate Zero, and of course, the motherfucking Kamina.
Who the hell do you think he is?
Gurren Lagann.
I was like, why'd you have to bring up Sword Art?
Because
Blue Exorcist.
I already put Blue Exorcist for Kyle Hebert. I'm trying not to double up on roles, okay?
Anyways.
So how do we feel about these two performances? So, right off the bat, like Megan was saying before, these two are probably more memorable in terms of secondary characters.
Mm-hmm.
They are absolutely charming.
Yes. They're adorable.
I think, as separating the roles, I think Cassandra does really well in her role. She really hits it right off. I think Kyle sounds a bit too old, just a little bit, to be playing a high school kid.
I actually couldn't tell who it was. It's like, who the fuck is that, the whole movie?
I couldn't either, and this is only after, like, slightly glimpsing at the casting list.
Yeah,
too.
I knew it for the moment I heard it, because I've listened to a lot of Kyle Hebert roles.
See, it's the opposite for me. I don't really listen much to Kyle Hebert roles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not as savvy in the thing you call the Dragon Balls.
Ah.
Yeah, the Dragon
So
Balls.
we're not listening to Kyle Hebert play a high schooler a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, in Blue Exorcist he does, but it's the traditional, like, hey guys, I'm Kyle Hebert. Oh god, that was the worst fucking Kyle Hebert impression ever. But it's always, like, the Kyle Hebert voice. Like, oh, okay. It's a lot like, when we did, I can't believe I'm bringing this up. It's like when we did BroCon. And I wanted Kyle Hebert's character to be my husband.
Nice.
Yes.
I don't want Taki to be my husband. Not Taki. God damn it. Boom
Tashi.
Boom. I'm gonna call him Tashi or Sparky Boom Boom.
Sparky Boom Boom. Nice.
Boom Boom Man. Because, you know, Sparky Boom Boom.
Explosions.
Explosions! I love the way that they played off of each other. Despite if you know how anime works, they weren't actually in a room together.
Right. Yeah, they definitely had more of a chemistry compared to Taki's friends.
Yeah. Again, it's the whole thing with, like, what like Megan was saying before we got to them. The two of them have more at stake compared to Taki's friends, because of course.
Yeah, there's a giant comet's gonna come and kill everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it hurt that they died.
Yeah.
Like, I will say it hurt when you see Taki going through the book and you see their names.
Yeah.
That they died at 17.
It was.
Yeah.
I was before I left this morning to go to the movie. I was like, I wonder if I should bring tissues. I didn't. I regret that decision.
I had to be strong for Mother. I couldn't do it. I couldn't cry in front of her. It was like, have you guys ever seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball with the big black guy? Get back in there, tear!
I at least have the solace in knowing I was not the only one who cried in the theater today.
Didn't you say, like, guys were crying? I mean, not that there's a thing against guys crying.
I heard sniffles, and, like, when I looked, it was, like, there was a guy in that direction. I'm like, oh, me too.
See,
oh, no.
I didn't really get a lot of tear-jerking. Didn't get a really tear-jerker reaction from it, to be honest.
I was emotionally exhausted by the time I got out of this movie.
Yeah.
I was teary. I was like, no.
I want to pull up the comment, but I'll pull it up as we're talking about them. I really like Cassandra Morris was absolutely precious too as Saya.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she's gotta but I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get arrested.
And she's like basically crying after she gets caught in the school with the broadcast. Like, no.
Yeah, even at the very end when she's like, you're going to shave for the ceremony, right? You mean I'm already on a diet?
God.
And she says as she's cramming her face full of cake. So.
That was great. That was perfect.
That was okay. As much as people want to say the main couple potentially getting together is like, oh my god, yes, it happened. That was me watching the two of them get together.
Yeah, I wanted Teshi and Saya to get together so bad, and I'm glad that they did. So happy they did. It was adorable. But you could tell, like, during parts of it, Teshi had a thing for Mitsuha, too.
Yeah.
Teshi had a thing for Mitsuha. Like, for sure. Like, remember when they were planning the whole explosions and the evacuation and all that stuff? Like, so all of a sudden Mitsuha, who's Taki and Mitsuha, by the way, he scoots over, like, grabs the laptop, gets a little bit closer, and Teshi's like, what are you doing? It was funny.
Yeah.
And Taki and Mitsuha's body is like, well, aren't you the gentleman? It was kind of funny and adorable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely in terms of secondary characters, period, these two are the standout characters, and these two are pretty standout performances, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They were like some of the best parts of the movie at times.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
their dialogue was great. They had great humor. They had great, like, just insight too. Because I feel like they were also a really great way to view Mitsuha as a character, especially pretty early on in the beginning of the movie, where they watch Mitsuha perform the Shinto ceremony.
Yeah.
And you kind of have, like, this weird dichotomy of, I guess you could say, predestination versus choosing your own fate. And they kind of talk about how, like, even though Teshi doesn't like what his dad does, he's willing to stay in the small town, versus Mitsuha, who wants to go to Tokyo, obviously. Like, there's a lot of really great little moments between the three of them. And I think that Kyle and Cassandra's performance, along with Mitsuha's actress, really nailed a lot of those beats. Where I feel like if the direction wasn't right, and maybe the experience of some of these actors weren't there, they wouldn't have nailed some of the emotionality in it. Because you have to, like, for people who don't, because we don't get to talk about a lot of the West Coast casts.
Yep.
Or the New York-based casts a lot in this. I think a lot of people forget how hardcore some of the moments that Kyle and Cassandra have acted through in anime themselves. Obviously, Kyle being Kamina.
Having to scream all the time.
Having to scream all the time. He's Gohan. He's done such crazy character arcs. He's done... I'm trying to think of other, like, really high emotional impact shows that Kyle has done.
Well, he was Aizen, but Aizen isn't really a very emotional character, so...
What about Danganronpa?
Yeah, he's
He's Soda.
Yeah, he's Soda in Danganronpa, and Danganronpa 3 especially, but we don't want to talk about... Oh, yeah, wait, we've already done the episode about that.
But I'll say the episode should be out by then.
Yeah. That's it. Well, Danganronpa, where he has to do a lot of stuff there within the game, as well as that. And then you have Cassandra, who's been in Madoka Magica.
Yep.
I mean, my god.
Motherfucking Kyubey.
Motherfucking Kyubey, and being evil, and, like, they both have been in so many things that are highly emotional and highly invested, that I think that their experience in this really pays off for these characters.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, other than the two leads, these are probably the best characters in the show. Without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I also just, she says as she crams cake into her face.
I'm going on a diet.
Yeah.
I'm making sacrifices
I also
too.
like how it's maybe we should do a traditional Shinto ceremony. He wanted to get married in a chapel. Like, I thought that was really sweet. So kind of like harken back to home.
It was adorable,
I feel like
yeah.
I feel like in a weird theory, if they did it at like a Shinto ceremony, that Mitsuha would be involved.
Yeah.
That would
As
be
their
kind of fun.
Right. Yeah, like I said, my only real problem with the performance was that Kyle does sound a bit too old to be playing a high school student. But other than that, it was fine. That was my only piece of criticism.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, obviously, we all think that these two are great performances. Standouts among the secondary characters. So why don't we move on to our final two characters? Because there's no way in hell we can really talk about these two individually.
Yeah, they're
But if it was 3 years apart.
yeah. Yeah.
God damn it.
Considering the whole movie is based around the red string of fate theory, I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
necessary.
Kind of a given.
I
Yeah.
want to talk about the thing, but I will talk about it after we do this.
All right. So we're going to talk about Taki Tachibana and Mitsuha Miyamizu. So of course-
Tachibana.
So Taki, throughout the course of the film, is in high school. He lives in Tokyo, and of course he switches places pretty randomly and frequently with Mitsuha, who lives in the middle of the country.
Tamori.
Yep, she lives in the middle of the country with her family. Helps run a shrine with her grandmother. All this
Makes
fun
sake
stuff.
with her mouth.
Yeah.
Yes. And the two individuals who voice these characters, Mitsuha is voiced by Miss Stephanie Shea, whom you have heard in series such as Sailor Moon, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and probably one of the other most famous roles. She is Hinata from Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
And as for Taki, that would be Mr. Michael Cinder Nicholas. I'm getting to that. Whom you've heard in Black Butler's Book of Circus as the lead for the film in Summer Wars, and as Detective Yonsook in Monster. To which on the off chance he listens to this. Hi, my name is Stephanie. I was the girl who had that volume of Monster at Youmacon. To which you signed it shots and just started going shots. Hi, how are
You
you?
in Black Butler Book of Circus?
He's Dagger, yeah.
Let's not forget easily his most famous and memorable role as Dean Venture in the Venture Brothers.
Go Team Venture!
He's also Leonardo for Ninja Turtles.
Oh, really? I did not know.
Yeah.
Teenage
Wait,
Mutant Instinctor Nicholas. Teenage Mutant Instinctor Nicholas. Hero and a half booth. Stinker power.
Yeah, he was
Stinker power?
Yeah,
I couldn't think of what to say. Stinker Nicholas is a really big word.
When you're in a voice booth, the last power you want to have is stinker power.
For some reason, why do I feel like one day at Funimation, like, I don't know why, but I feel like, I don't know, like Alejandro Saab or Damon Mills is gonna fart in a booth and they're just gonna lock Rico in there.
I mean,
he's just gonna be pounding on the glass, waiting to get out, as Clifford Chapin just takes pictures and laughs maniacally.
well, Rico did go primal one
and
time.
thus I have spawned thousands of fanfiction. I'm not fucking sorry, Cliff.
Oh, well, Rico did go pretty primal that one time he got locked in a
And
booth.
now we see in his captive the wild Fajardo in his captive habitat.
Yes. And we've lost him.
And
we've lost him.
well,
I apparently now he keeps checking all of the doors at Funimation. So he doesn't keep getting locked in. Roll it, her hero, roll for initiative.
Anyway, yes, you are. How do we feel about Michael and Stephanie's performances as our two leads?
Well, we should bring up...
Guys,
Yeah?
my mom just put a jar of change on my desk and said, "Here's your swear jar.
Oh.
Come here. Come here. Come here. We're talking about the movie." Say Not you, Dad. Nobody wants you. Come here, Mom. Just say what you... I'm not giving you $20. It's not worth it. Fuck you.
That's another quarter for the swear jar.
I said I was going to do it with singles, and she's like, if you did it with singles, Megan, you'd be broke by the end of the panel.
Yeah.
I love you, Mom. You're the best mom in the world. And I would never say horrible things about you.
Thank you for the swear jar that Megan now has to bring with her to conventions.
It's very big and it's yellow, and I'm kind of scared. It looks a little strange.
That's what she said.
Oh, God.
Ew!
Oh, no.
Party, ew, God, don't talk about yourself like that.
Okay, we need to really get back on topic.
Anyway, back to...
We need to bring, our two leads, Michael and Stephanie. Now, the reason we... Stinker power, yes. The reason we didn't mention the ADR directors at the beginning...
was because they are both the ADR directors for the film.
What a twist.
That's right, yeah. With the twist, yes. In fact, NYAV, the studio where this was recorded, is run and owned by Michael Center Nicholas. And I think Stephanie has a pretty big part of it, too. So basically, they cast themselves.
So FYI, since now we brought up the whole ADR director thing, just to get a general idea of directing credits before we really dive into both directing and their performances. From Michael Center Nicholas, you've seen other directing works from him for 009 Re-Cyborg, Time of Eve, and Slayer's Revolution. As for Stephanie Shea, she has directed My Miracle, Paradise Kiss, and Welcome to the Space Show. So we're going to try this again. How do we feel about, now that we brought the directing in, how do we feel about, let's start with the performances first before we talk about the directing.
I think that this is some of the finest performances I've seen from them in any dub ever, because they not only had to play their own character, they had to play a different version of the other character.
Yeah.
They basically had to play each other as they swapped back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to play each other as themselves playing the other person.
Yes, I'm the dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Yeah.
Thanks, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, and so basically you could really tell when Taki when Mitsuha took over Taki's body.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could definitely tell there's definitely a more feminine vibe to Michael's performance, and whenever Taki takes over Mitsuha's body, you can definitely tell that there's sort of almost a pervy, high school teenage boy.
I wouldn't call Taki 100% pervy.
Yeah.
Like, I would say a bit more
taking a look at the goods.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if
he's feeling the melons for their firmness.
I mean, let's think about it this way. If you were a guy and got swapped into a girl's body, wouldn't that be the first thing you look at?
Pretty much,
okay,
yes.
To be fair, she does talk about his morning wood.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, every morning Taki gets a visit from his favorite superhero, Kamui Woods.
Oh, god damn it.
Did I just get applauded for that?
Yes, you did. I just applauded you for that. That was bad. That was bad, and it was so funny and bad.
It was perfect. Don't lie.
It was so bad.
Shame, shame.
Shame. I just need the gif of the lady from Game of Thrones yelling shame.
Anyway, but yeah, you could definitely tell in their performances the slight differences when they did switch. Especially, like, Stephanie, maybe it wasn't as noticeable as Michael's.
I think it was more subtle with her.
Hers was more subtle. Michael's, you could definitely tell. Like,
and I actually like that.
Yeah. Like, he kind of raised the pitch like a tiny bit when Mitsuha took over. And like a little bit more girly and kind of feminine. Like, it came out. It did come out a lot more, a bit more obvious compared to Stephanie when she has to play Taki taking over Mitsuha's body. But,
can I say something about that?
Sure.
I feel like that was something done specifically, well, I would say potentially for the dub. Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, I haven't been able to... Oh, excuse me, I'm getting the hiccups here. Oh, God, that's awful, and I hope... God, do voice actors go through this when they get the hiccups in the booth? It's supposed to be horrible. Oh, God. I think it might have been done a little bit more obvious in the English, maybe compared to the Japanese. Fortunately, I haven't seen the sub, because I've been told in the subtitle version, the way you can tell is by the way that they say I, because in Japan, the word I can be gendered.
Right.
Like, in between, like, watashi wa, boku wa, like, different, like, females will, like, it's kind of considered a tomboyish thing to say something like boku as a girl or something like that.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like maybe they made it a little more obvious in the pitches of their voice in English, because, I mean, you can kind of, it's obviously a gendered thing, but girls and boys sound different. Obviously, when a boy goes through puberty, their voice drops. And then even like we talked about in Kiss Him Not Me, heavier girls tend to have deeper voices.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they may have did that, and I really like that on Stinker Power. I can't say his full name. I'm sorry. Dude, I'm sorry. I can't say your full name. I'm calling you Stinker Power.
Stink meaner.
Not Stink Wiener.
Just ask Noah how to pronounce his name.
I'm just gonna call you Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna call him
with it.
Michael.
It's
Okay,
Kappa Mikey.
No, I'm not. Don't you bring up that god awful television show. To the dungeon with you, with Andrew.
Oh, God damn it.
Do I need to break out the dramatical murder OVA?
No, please, no.
Don't you ever bring that up in this house again.
Shh. Just saying.
Or lest you suffer Dave Matrenga's blowjob noises.
I'll be good, I promise.
Lest you suffer Dave Matrenga blowing a low-budget Seth Rogen.
That's a Cards Against Anime card right there.
Oh, yes.
Dave Matrenga blowjob noises? For budget Seth Rogen.
Both.
Okay, anyway. So I liked it. Like, I liked Stinger Nicholas a little bit more, too. But I feel there are certain points where Stephanie Sheh is just like, damn, girl!
Steals the show.
The scene where they go to the Netherworld when she has to be Taki.
Mm-hmm.
With the grandma for the first time.
Right.
That was...
It's just impressive, to say the least.
Right. Yeah. I think it's just all around. The two of them basically steal the show because it's their show to steal.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just the back and forth between both of them is just... It's probably some of the best acting I've ever heard from either of them, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, honestly, like, these are two phenomenal performances, and I think before we even started recording, Megan already, had said that Michael is, potential W award material here.
Both of them, I would think, but I lean a little bit more towards Michael. I feel like just because you got that middle chunk of the movie where, unfortunately, Mitsuha is dead.
Yeah.
So Taki kind of gets these really great moments of him, as you're going through the twist with him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for those of you who hopefully you listened to me at the beginning of this movie, the twist of this movie is so well done.
Yeah, honestly.
I think Stephanie Sheh said it the best. She's like, great watching the showing in New York Times Square, including the guy in the front row who was like, damn!
So basically the twist is not only are the two switching bodies, Mitsuha's life is 3 years prior to where Taki is in the story.
Because she's dead.
Yeah. So when the comet hits, all of a sudden, all communication is cut off, and then we find out that this comet had hit 3 years before all this stuff with Taki is going on.
Apparently you are actually able to catch the twist in the beginning of the movie. Again, hoping people have actually seen this before watching the episode. when I'm gonna try to catch it when you go back on the DVD, check the days of the week on their phone.
Yeah.
They don't match up.
I caught sort of the twist when she said I could live off this for a month, and somebody mentioned, a decade ago.
Yeah, but it's only 3 years.
I know.
Well,
I mean, but I mean that gave you a hint that time has passed. So.
Oh yeah.
It's fair.
Also, I think her phone was a little less new than his.
Right.
Yep. So there might have been things here and there. I didn't really pick up on it because I mean,
there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. But in terms of these performances, oh my god, these are just phenomenal. I love them from beginning to end. Between the two, in terms of I had to pick like one single favorite, I would kind of lean more towards Michael's performance of Taki a little bit more. But that's just like if you were forcing me to choose a favorite between the two, honestly.
I think the reason the dub turned out so good is because this directly leads into the fact that the two leads are also the two directors. They get to generally dictate how they want it to sound and how they want it to turn out. And call it greedy for snatching up the two lead roles for yourselves, but I think it was a smart choice.
Honestly.
I don't think anybody else could have really done it at this point. Like, I can't imagine another person playing Taki. And I know because Steph brought it up too, I feel like going into a part of me was like, oh no, is he gonna sound like the lead from Summer Wars?
Yeah.
Which is kind of a worry because you've already had Stinger Nicholas essentially go through what at the time was considered Mamoru Hosoda's strongest movie. And is generally beloved by most fans. And he played off of Rina Palencia, and now you're like, okay, now he's going off of Stephanie Sheh, I like Rina Palencia a lot, but Stephanie Sheh's range is a little bit crazy sometimes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because she can go from like Hinata in Naruto, be Mitsuha, who sounds nothing like her, and also be somebody like Mikan in Danganronpa, who's like, who literally sounds like a chihuahua in human formation.
And then she goes batshit crazy.
Yeah. She also played a mother character in what was it? Letter to Momo. She was a mom. So. Which was also dubbed by NYAV.
Yep. So yeah, absolutely these basically, like you said, Hardy, it may have seemed greedy for the two of them as directors to take these two leads, but honestly, it was the best choice.
Yeah.
I just wonder who wrote the movie.
The script adaptation, because I wrote this down, the script adaptation was done by Mr. Clark Chang, whom has done the scripts for Rurouni Kenshin, Lees vs. Butlers, and Just For You, Hardy. Apocalypse Zero.
Nice.
Oh, good God, Dragon Dick.
So, yeah.
But no, I mean, the script is also fantastic.
Absolutely. Like, I would imagine if I had to take a wild guess, because again, all of us have only really seen the English dub version. We haven't seen the Japanese version of the film.
Yeah, we've only seen it once, so.
Yeah, exactly. My assumption here is that they played it very close to the original script. That's my
Obviously
assumption.
Changing some jokes that wouldn't work in English.
Right.
To English.
Yeah.
Joke.
Right.
They also kept a lot of. I like how they also kept a lot of stuff that is very Japanese, like the stuff about Shinto and
The sake part.
the sake part, which was kind of beautiful and disgusting all at once.
Yeah. honestly.
Well, if you think about it, I just wanted to go off on this little tangent. You know how they chew up the sake and they spit it out and let it ferment, and then they put it into the bottles and they put it underneath into the shrine.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you think about it, when Taki goes and finds the sake and drinks it, he's kind of giving her an indirect kiss.
Which is why she calls him a pervert.
Yeah.
Speaking of that scene, I wanted to bring this up. The bracelet.
You mean the ribbon?
The ribbon.
The
is
bracelet
a fucking
slash
spoiler
hair tie.
for the whole movie. It is the whole plot in the movie. If you think about it, because it's red on the end for the red strings of fate.
Yeah.
And then it fades into orange, which is twilight or magic hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of has the brown with the squiggles for the mountain, and in the middle is the blue lake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought that was awesome. Also, good God, this movie made me want to cry, but I didn't because I had to be strong for Mother.
Oh, I teared up so bad in the theater.
I didn't cry. I was expecting to, but I was
Strong for Mother.
I wasn't even, it's not really a tearjerker as much as it is just, it makes you feel real good at the end.
That movie is an emotionally draining roller coaster because
It can be,
I couldn't find his name on Reddit, but one of the top posts on the Reddit thread for this movie was, at any point in the last 20 minutes of that movie, it could have just ended.
Yeah, it did. Now,
And it would have worked.
you see, here's the issue that someone else brought up. The ending kind of drags. It kind of has a Return of the King sort of vibe to it, where, you're like, just get on with it. Of course, I didn't have a problem with it. I think Dawn...
Get on with it!
I thought it was good, yeah.
Yeah, Dawn had more of an issue with it than I did. We went to see it together, but yeah, I didn't... I was kind of, I'm like, just do it already. But yeah, it is a emotionally draining, yet it's ultimately uplifting film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And y'all need to watch it.
Yes, so I guess at the...
Buy this or you're dumb.
I guess at this point it's time to segue to our final thoughts on the film really quickly. Who wants to go first on their final thoughts?
Because I think, Megan, you wanted to comment on the Academy whole snub.
I want to go last.
Okay.
Okay.
I call dibs on last.
All right.
Who's on first?
You go first,
Steph's
Bob.
on first.
Yeah.
This is one of the few rare times where I go into something almost completely blind. Again, I only saw one trailer, and it was for the English dub, so obviously I knew who the two leads were. But really going into it, I was mesmerized the entire time. Not just from the film itself, because God, is it a wonderful film. It's so beautiful. And it has a really good story and characters and everything. But the performances were phenomenal. Especially for Michael and Stephanie. Because the two had to carry that movie on their own. And there was a lot of crazy things that happened in there. And they carried it beautifully. So, I think this is a phenomenal film. I am so happy that it finally came to us in the States.
Yeah.
And I am very, very happy because, again, we're recording this the weekend that it's going through its theatrical run. Thank you, Funimation, for bringing it to Boston and not just Cambridge like all the other films you've done previously. Yeah. Because this is something I really, really wanted to see, and I'm so happy I got to. I'm probably going to be starting a cycle of repetitiveness here, but if and when it does come out on DVD, because obviously it hasn't come out when we recorded this, if you don't buy this film, you're an idiot.
Yeah, and don't just buy the film, get the big, fancy collector's edition in the chipboard box with all the...
Funimation, you fucking hear me.
Yeah, they'd be fools if they didn't.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay, so it's time for me? My turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Like I said, this is a really great film. Is it my favorite anime film? Probably not. Is it the best film I've ever seen? Not really. Do I think it really deserves all the accolades and to be like the single best selling anime film in Japanese history? Do I think it deserves that? Probably not. But I will say this. My opinion of Makoto Shinkai as a director is mixed at best. Some of the stuff I've seen was pretty good. A lot of it was just really slow and melodramatic and just not my thing. This, on the other hand, is Shinkai at his absolute positive best. At no point in this movie did I ever feel bored. At no point did I ever feel like I was being preached to, or at no point nothing went over my head. I didn't feel like Oshii is terrible about making you feel stupid while watching his movie. I did not feel like I was being preached to. I did not feel like I was being talked down to. And there was a genuine warmth and humanity that sometimes these anime film auteurs, their films just lack. And
unless your name is Mamoru Hosoda.
Yeah, Hosoda is different. But I mean, I've watched films by Oshii. I've watched films by, and like Miyazaki, and this.
Yep.
A lot of times there's this emotional disconnect, and the characters just are boring. I didn't feel that here. I think on this time, Shinkai got it right. And I just thought it was a really, really great movie through and through. Are there some hiccups, or could you nitpick some things out of it? Yeah, but you can do that for every movie. And I just have to say, it's really great. And if you're listening to this review and you haven't watched it, then we've spoiled everything and you're an idiot. So, but anyways, go watch it and buy it when it comes out. And
if it hasn't come out by the time this goes up.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully you actually saw it in the theaters during its 1 week run like we did, and you can appreciate just as much as we do. So
it is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And now we free the film study student.
Oh boy.
We free Megan. All right, here we
go. Bring the popcorn.
So this is actually, despite owning Garden of Words and 5 centimeters per second, I've not actually got to watch them. So this is the first time. I argued this with Steph in that I've seen enough 5 centimeter per second AMVs that I get the general gist of 5 centimeters per second.
And I still said no.
She still says it doesn't count that I've seen it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to argue that I've seen it like a bajillion times in like cut up edited format.
Yeah, and kind of on that same vein, this is actually the first Makoto Shinkai film that I've seen too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only seen The Garden of Words.
Fun fact, that is a tie-in to this movie. The teacher is the girl from The Garden of Words.
Yep.
Interesting.
And she's the teacher. She's the girl from The Garden of Words. And the restaurant he works at in Italian is called The Garden of Words.
Ah.
But that's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to Easter egg. Is this my favorite anime movie of all time? No, this is probably number 3. Number 2 of all things, and everyone's going to call me high, is probably The Boy and the Beast. Which, if that is my own personal subjective view, that movie touches me in fucking phrasing, in ways that I did not expect it to.
Oh my.
But this is a stronger film than it. My favorite anime movie of all time will still forever stand as Satoshi Kon's Millennium Actress.
I can agree with this.
Fucking fight me.
I will agree with that.
That is like one of my top 4 favorite movies of all time. But this is not the argument that I'm making. If you didn't know, Funimation did release this in the US in a very, very limited run earlier this year to attempt to get this nominated for an Oscar. In which it was completely fucking snubbed, not even nominated, and given the middle finger by the goddamn Academy, who wouldn't know what a good animated movie is if it hit them upside the head and called them daddy. Now, I do say that with a bit of grain of salt. They have nominated good films and awarded very, very good films for their awards. However, they are completely biased towards the evil, evil empire that is Disney Pixar. And if you did watch the Oscars this year, you know that Zootopia won the Oscar, when it shouldn't have. Zootopia itself is a good movie. And it is a good movie with the message that, for some god-awful reason, still needs to be stated to this day. But, when I left Your Name as a film, like Hardy said, I didn't feel preached to. I didn't feel talked down to. That movie spoke to me as an adult filmgoer through animation as a movement. Zootopia beat me over the head with a fucking baseball bat. And while Zootopia, I do understand movies like Zootopia and Moana are good films, they did not take the amount of risks Shinkai took telling this story, telling a body swap time travel romance that dealt with themes of coming of age, religion versus politics, old versus new culture. The idea that this is a very mature romance film told through gorgeous, stunning animation that can give Pixar and Disney a run for their CGI money.
Yeah. Hand-drawn.
Hand-drawn. There is CGI in it, and you can tell sometimes.
Yep.
But this is still primarily hand-drawn film. I would put the technical work on this up there with Laika for Kubo, which is the only other movie I would have accepted last year, giving Shinkai a run for its money in terms of storytelling and visuals. I would say Your Name is a stronger story-told movie than Kubo is, because Kubo does have some trappings of Laika movies, in that if you've never seen Laika movies, they like to use pacifism as an end. Like, almost all of their movies end with pacifism.
Right.
Of some sort. But the fact of it is that this should have been the Oscar for Best Animation last year. This was a movie that I walked out of slack-jawed and wanting to go back and seeing it, even if I had to watch it with the sub, because I had to drive 2 hours to watch the dub.
Again, Megan is a trooper.
Yep.
You are a fucking idiot if you don't buy this. I'm sorry. This is a movie that is going to define anime for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
This is the standard at this point. Not only is it the highest grossing anime film, it is the highest grossing anime film in the world. It is not still yet the highest grossing Japanese film domestically. I think something else is still ahead of it. But in the terms of the world market, it is number one now.
Yeah. Would you say it's up there in importance with movies like Spirited Away or even Akira?
I think for the contemporary age, yes. If Akira defined the 80s, I would say Ghost in the Shell defines the 90s. Because I believe Ghost in the Shell is the original film, not the god-awful American remake.
Right. We don't talk about that here.
To which I will say this, Miles from Crunchyroll said it was worse than Dragon Ball Evolution. If that defines the 90s, and Spirited Away, I would say Spirited Away and... Okay, no. Perfect Blue is, I believe, late 90s as well, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, Perfect Blue and Ghost in the Shell defines the 90s. Spirited Away, Hell's Moving Castle, The Girl Who Left Through Time, I believe, is late 2000s, right?
Yeah,
Mid to late 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, that's the aughts.
If that... I would say that, yes, this is one of the important movies of 2010 onward. I mean, you have, like, looking what came out in that time, you have the three Hosoda films that are very prominent. You have Summer Wars. You have The Wolf Children, which still stands as one of the most emotional films that anybody will ever watch, they say. You have The Boy and the Beast, which is considered to be Hosoda's weakest film. You still have Shinkai's 5 centimeters per second, Garden of Words. You have Your Name, which is taking the world by storm. And there's obviously tons of other arguments. But at the same time, I'm hoping that Funimation did get a lot of good done with this movie in this weekend. Because not only is it important from a storytelling standpoint that if this movie does well, that hopefully the Academy in Hollywood will take animation seriously from Japan and not just some tool to tangle and maim and neuter to make more money themselves, because God knows that in 5 years this is going to get a shitty US remake.
Yeah.
It's going to get Freaky Friday to lose all of its teeth. That it does lead to animation being seen as a more viable medium for storytelling and does give Disney a run for its money. I will admit, I feel Disney's been lazy in the last couple of years with their storytelling, and this is hopefully a push for them to make little less lazy stories. I don't think Zootopia is totally lazy. I do think that it does have a lot of good that it's going for. I just think it's way too ham-fisted.
Right.
In its delivery. But I hope that this also financial success is something that lures more films over. As we are finishing up Summer of the Movies, there's one other movie last year that has not come over to the US that I really fucking want.
Oh, God.
Silent Voice?
Yep.
Yeah.
Watch.
Everyone else is already watching a Silent Voice. It's like, it's great. Meanwhile, in America...
And it's essentially Silent Voice. I believe it was a Silent Voice in this corner of the world, and Your Name were the three front runners as movie, like the best movie from Japan last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Watch. In the next few months, when this episode is actually
we got fucking
released.
Book of the Atlantic before we got fucking A Silent Voice. We got Black Butler Titanic Zombies.
No, watch. What I'm saying is watch. By the time this finally goes up, us here in April recording it, the end of August, watch. Someone will announce it finally.
If this goes, if A Silent Voice gets announced before this video goes up, I will eat an entire roll of sushi.
Oh.
And I hate sushi.
Oh, do we get to pick what type?
No, I take that back, because you're going to make me eat mackerel, you bastard.
No, have Ark pick it.
Oh.
No, ew, he's going to make me eat something disgusting.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think he would.
If A Silent Voice gets up before this video comes up, I will watch every part of K-On!, including the movie.
Really?
Oh, shit.
And I hate that show.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to tell you this right now, Megan. Reconsider if you hate it, because I own K-On! And I will gladly share it with you.
I fucking hate that show.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I understand.
God, I will suffer through the endless eight of Haruhi if I have
Ooh,
to.
no. That's not something we joke about.
Rant over. Go see this movie. Buy it. If you don't buy it, you're an idiot.
Okay. Awesome. So on that note, if you are interested,
Your Name was robbed.
Your Name got robbed. Yeah. So if you are interested in seeing this film, at the time of recording this in April, it is only on a 1-week run in theaters.
Basically,
again,
you missed it by this point.
You missed it come end of August. We do not know if a physical release has been announced here in April. If it was at some point, I'll probably just put some text or something stating, hey, this is when it's going to come out. But, yeah. That's it at this point. That's it for, Summer at the Movies, and that's it for us.
Mm-hmm.
God.
It feels like we've gone through so much, even though we haven't recorded a single other episode yet.
Yeah, I know, right?
I can't wait to talk about gay zombie Todd Habercorn.
Yeah, we need to figure that out with Lack. But anyways, if you're interested in any of the other shenanigans that we do, you can follow Hardy on Twitter at SpacemanHardy. You can follow Megan at QueenEra2. You can follow me at Lilac Anime Review, with review being spelled REVUE. Or if you want to just follow the Dub Talk podcast in general, of course, the best way to follow us in terms of new episodes would be subscribing to this channel here. And as well as being a follower on our Twitter at dubtalkpodcast, and a variety of our other social medias, because we are also on Tumblr, we're also on Instagram. At the time of recording this, Sneeves is working on a SoundCloud situation, but that could be improved by the time this actually comes out. But anyway, thank you so much for sticking with us all summer long, and catching us, I think it is every week, with these different films and all of our Siskel and Ebert shenanigans that happened. If this is something...
Oh, come and rock me, Amadeus.
Oh, Lord. If you want to see us do something like this again, let us know. Maybe we can make this a yearly thing where we revisit films and new
We got a
films
lot.
like
We
that.
have to go find more movies.
We're gonna have to find movies. Oh, God. Oh, no. When we start dipping into, like, a massive pool of Miyazaki films, that's when we're screwed.
I call dibs on the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Millennium Actress, bitches. Let's go.
That isn't even
That has
dubbed.
no dub.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
God, if
Perfect Blue. Okay, Perfect
Funimation
Blue.
rescue, please.
Just watch.
Perfect Blue.
We're going to do a dub versus dub review of Akira.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
That's gonna be interesting.
That's gonna have to be a thing. But anyways, thanks for sticking around with us all summer with these fun little movies. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, guys, otaku on, my friends.
Keep it manly.